So I'd like to thank Irene and Eric and Manuel, who unfortunately can't be here today, for inviting me. So I have a brief 10-15 minutes to talk to you about open research from a translational research perspective, a more academic perspective, and it'll be a little bit more high level and possibly a little bit more philosophical than the past presentations. So before I go any further, what is translational research? And for anyone who's expecting some sort of a complex definition, I have to disappoint because it's exactly what it sounds like. We translate from one domain to the other. We take foundational general research and we translate it into something that is useful for industry. So what we try to do, we collaborate a lot with industry partners. They tell us what their problem is. They come to us asking for solutions using state-of-the-art technology. So what we try to do is develop new methods, new approaches, using these state-of-the-art technologies. So I did mention I'm from the University of Applied Sciences, and I think the application part of our university is essential here. So this track is called Bridging the Gap, specifically bridging the gap between industry and research. And now I've mentioned in my definition of translational research that that's exactly what we do. So I guess you could argue that us at the ZHW, we are one of these bridges between industry and research. So to come to why open research is important, and I'll speak first from my personal perspective. I'm a PhD student, so I get paid to learn. And what I learn from is open research. I read journals, I read publications, I read blog posts, and I also reverse engineer a lot of the code that people are writing. So I learn to code from what people have already done. I would not be able to learn anything if it wasn't for open research. I mean, of course, my university has access to certain closed source publications, but the vast majority of what I read is open research. So I guess you could argue that academia is essentially open research. We thrive on publishing and sharing and collaborating with other people. That's what we do. So we're at a conference. We like to share our ideas. Everyone here understands why open research is important. I don't feel like I need to explain that to you. But if I did need to illustrate it in some way, there's one analogy that I find quite interesting. So I was reading a book recently, and they compared technological advance and innovation, they compare it to evolution. So in nature, animals evolve by recombining their genome, by mutating certain parts of the genome, and the successful and strong recombination survive, right? And as evolution continues, the population gets increasingly diverse, and if you don't put limits on the population, ever stronger animals emerge. And technologies are quite the same. So technologies evolve by colliding with each other. People come along and they change certain aspects of it, and they develop new technologies from what already exists. For example, artificial neural networks. Artificial neural networks are inspired by biology. You put a little bit of statistics and math on top of it, and you get something that completely revolutionized AI. Reinforcement learning, which is my chosen field, you could also see it as the child of AI and behavioral psychology, for example, if you were to put it a little bit crudely. So there's one quote by the co-founder of DeepMind who says that invention is a cumulative compounding process which feeds on itself. And I think open research is exactly what accelerates this constant process of developing new ideas and new technologies. So this all sounds great and it sounds wonderful, but it's not as easy as just opening everything up. And given that we are the bridge between industry and academia, what dilemmas do we face? And I would say there's one major dilemma, and that is being on this bridge between industry and academia. The solutions we develop cost money. Unfortunately, neither me nor my colleagues, well, not unfortunate, we don't work for free. What we develop costs money, right? And in most cases, hopefully if we do our job right, we also provide a significant competitive advantage for our industry partners. They give us a lot of data, they give us a lot of resources, and they definitely want to protect this. They want to protect their data, they want to protect the solutions that we develop for them. And a lot of the time we're bound by NDAs. So when it comes time for us to publish things, most of the time we're definitely not allowed to publish data. And sometimes there are restrictions on what part of the methodologies we're allowed to publish as well. And what this kind of leads to is us publishing papers that in most cases can't be replicated, which sort of takes away from the value of what we're publishing. And given that we're researchers, publications are our currency. Publications are how we attract new clients. It's how we maintain a high impact factor. It's essential for us to be able to publish. And it's essential for the community as well that we can publish reproducible results. So it comes down to a very fine balance between protecting industry, industry investment and also being part of the open community. And this is definitely not an easy balance. It's one I don't have much experience with. But I've found that although this sounds very difficult, there is definitely a bright side to it. So in my 3 years of experience and my 6 months of experience as a PhD, I found that there has been a significant shift from keeping everything closed to what people have been calling the second spring of open AI research. And especially with our research partners or our industry partners, I found that a lot of them have shifted their mindset from innovation as a one-and-done type situation where you just develop one technology, put a patent on it, and then you call it a day and go home and hope that no one else is going to do something similar. They've created this very interesting mindset of innovation as a continuous process within company culture as well. So I guess you could see it as a wave. Technology is a wave, and us and our industry partners are the surfers trying to stay ahead of it. And there's this also strong sense in the community, like what Eric and Manuel are doing at Flatland, of creating community. And that has been really important for me personally as a PhD student, is having all of these people who share their ideas and code and these databases which allow me to also test my skills. And I would like to leave it at this bright side, that I feel like we're going in the right direction. I think there's a lot of potential in open research, and I feel like especially what our colleagues at Flatland are doing is a very good start in the right direction. So together we can, and we definitely will achieve more. All right, thank you so much for your attention. If you have any questions, I'm open.